G'day everybody. So in theme with the webinar, I'm going to be talking about how our MSPs can save time and money. I'm going to cover off the Arcserve SOLO DR as a service solution, as well as our SaaS backup solution. So firstly, I'd like to take you through our SOLO MSP business continuity platform. And what you can see here is our SOLO is tightly integrated into our one system, which is our single point for management of the solution in terms of data protection, disaster recovery, and complete lifecycle management of the policy and protection there. And then we have our multi-tenant cloud services platform. So this is where we can provision a complete business continuity failover into the cloud, and then the ability to revert back on-prem at a suitable time. So looking at the SOLO solution, what we have is a powerful data protection capability, and this starts with reliable recovery across physical and virtual environments. It is flexible in that we can go from physical to virtual or to different virtual environments or recover into our DRAS environment, giving us the flexibility to act quickly in the event of something going wrong. The integration to the hypervisors, specifically VMware and Hyper-V, where we have instant recovery capability. And obviously, as your customers are on the journey and their data sizes are growing, it is important that we can quickly virtualize those backups without having to wait hours, if they have terabytes of data. So instant recovery. And with that integration into the hypervisors, we have the ability, obviously, to protect those VMs agentless or using our agent, which has its own VSS provider, giving us a very high level, consistent, application-aware backup inside the VM guest. This solution is compatible with your existing backup infrastructure. So if you've already invested in NAS storage or backup server infrastructure, we can obviously leverage that for backup repository. The SOLO also does bring an exciting way to standardize on solutions as well. And what we have is a very simple SLA-oriented workflow. So what this does, and this is driven from our one system dashboard, but it allows you to define a policy that will cover the whole data protection lifecycle. So we're talking backup frequency, local retention, offsite replication, and retention around that as well. This offers a very simple approach, very simple, allowing you to rapidly scale across your customer base and standardize. The one system itself is a very intuitive dashboard where you get instant visibility across all of your customers. We can quickly see if a customer's gone offline or there's a machine that's falling out of SLA. But this single pane of glass gives us the ability to, perform backup recovery, monitoring, management, reporting, and integrations, all driven from one place, which is very simple. From an MSP perspective, it really is plug and protect solution, right? The device itself doesn't have a HDMI VGA port. You literally plug it into power, give it Ethernet, it'll automatically call home to our cloud hosted one system, and away you go. So very simple. And then obviously rinse and repeat across your customer base, allowing you to standardize becomes key. Obviously, we have our DRAS platform I touched on. We'll also talk about, what CRS are doing with Wasabi, and that flows into a promo that they have there as well. But from a deployment perspective, as I mentioned, you plug it in. We've got an agent that runs across Hyper-V and or physical or virtual machines you're wanting to protect with the agent, API integration directly into VMware. The backups, again, can go to any existing storage you have. The SOLO itself has a capability to put a hard drive in it. Or you can connect USB drives. And this is really where we're seeing MSPs like that standardization. They don't have a mix and match of different backup infrastructure. They can put a SOLO in if the environment is physical only, or if it's a different hypervisor. It really allows them to mix and match different customers with a single solution. The SOLO itself can handle up to 20 different machine backups. So again, you're not right sizing per customer. You can drop a SOLO in. We can back up direct to any of these cloud locations you can see on the screen. or backup locally first for local recovery options, and then send a copy of those backups into the cloud. So super flexible. You don't have to right size. Very quick deployment within minutes. Literally plug it in, assign it to a customer site, and apply the data protection and replication you like. As you can see here, this device is really a gateway type device. It's not a BDR. It's not designed to recover the backups on the device. It does have an option to put your own hard drive in there, or as I mentioned, leverage existing network storage. It's also got 2 USB ports, which you can plug in external USB drives as well. So lots of flexibility in the device. And from the recovery perspective, as I touched on, it's very tightly integrated into your production hypervisor environment. So whether it be Hyper-V or VMware, again, regardless of how large those machines are, it can instantly turn it on. As it reads from those backups, it will write directly into your primary storage, giving you rapid virtualization and transparent backfill, where it will transparently migrate that data as users are online. We have the capability to do that out of any location. So if your on-site storage somehow was compromised or had failed, we can resume backups direct to cloud. We can also recover directly out of cloud storage as well, or recover in the cloud should it be a catastrophic failure. So a lot of capability there within the product and integration. In terms of the cloud services DRaaS solution, this is our purpose-built disaster recovery cloud platform for total business continuity. The idea is to protect your on-premise business systems and data, and obviously have it securely isolated and offsite. And with our solution, it is not just offsite storage, it's also giving you included virtualization capability with our premium offering, and full networking failover capability, where we can pre-configure static IPs, reserve your server IP addresses, configure port forwarding, site-to-site VPN, IPsec, OpenVPN client connections that can all be pre-configured with a single click to bring up that workload in the cloud and offer, very quick self-driven DRaaS capability for you and your customers. So in summary, very cost effective. Obviously, I haven't touched on the pricing, but CRS can take you through that, the great team there. SLA orientated protection, single pane of management with multi-tenancy, data sovereignty and redundancy for continued data availability, and obviously secure by design with the architecture that we have. Everything's encrypted in transit, and the DRaaS capability that is included there. So as I touched on during that presentation there, the CRS is providing a special offer at the moment where they're including Wasabi storage as well. So, if you have a requirement to have, machines that don't need the full DRaaS, or maybe you want a longer term archive or another copy somewhere else, obviously you can hook that in as well, which is really cool. So just moving forward in the interest of time, I'd now like to take you through our SaaS backup solution. So this is really where you need to drive awareness into your customer base, if not already, and really understand, as we've moved on-prem workloads into the cloud, we take advantage of the highly scalable and redundant capabilities that come with a lot of these SaaS vendors. But this diagram really depicts what's under the water. We used to back up these servers, and that's not necessarily included in that transition as they adopt that cloud journey. And so having a solution that can protect and recover and secure the data in a separate location and give availability if that primary location goes offline or there's some sort of malicious event, it becomes really important. There's a lot of stats out here, this one coming from Gartner, about the number of organizations that have suffered disruption due to unrecoverable data loss. And you dig into the reasons, again, majority is human error. Again, why we used to back up, why we do back up on-prem, the accidental deletion, overwrites, closing accounts, but then, the hacking and insider threats are increasing, third-party software problems, obviously the whole driver with bring your own device, work from home with COVID, there's more and more data that's important to the operation of our customers, and having that data protected in a manner that they can quickly get access is really important. So what we have is a dedicated SaaS data protection solution. We first and foremost focus on their availability. We want to, if it's Microsoft 365 we're talking about, we want to get it out of Microsoft and have it somewhere else, such as a vendor neutral location. We have redundancy and immutability and data sovereignty, all part of that solution. With cost effective, what we do is we have a cloud to cloud solution. We price per seat. It includes unlimited storage. The retention can be as long as you need. There's no tearing, so the ingestion, the egress is all included, and scalability. Things like shared mailboxes, for example, we would include for free. Simplicity first. You'll see. I'll take you through a very quick demo if we have time on the user interface, and the speed at which this can be set up is literally within minutes. And we also have a full MSP provisioning portal, which actually integrates in with the DRAS I just touched on, where we can go and create a customer and set them up immediately. There's no placing a PO to bring on each individual customer. Instant recovery. One of the highlights of our solution is the ability to rapidly get a customer access to data that they're missing or need, and at the same time, kick off a high-speed restore back into their tenant. And security, I touched on the immutability, but having all of the multi-factor and immutable capabilities and encryption and so forth, we follow a strict API approach with how we back up this data that is secured and transit at rest to give us a fantastic solution here. What you'll see here is that it's not just Microsoft, right? We include, with Microsoft 365, we'll include the Azure AD. You've got things like Dynamics 365, Power BI is coming into the protection here as well. We've got Google Workspace, Salesforce, Zendesk is another one that's coming in. But as we continue to scale out this platform, it really allows you to land and expand within your customer base, whether there's one of these components they need today, and as they grow and we pick up additional coverage and applications, they'll be able to protect those workloads. Microsoft 365 specifically is one of the largest SaaS vendors in the world. We've got comprehensive protection here. Things like in-place archives, public folders, comprehensive groups and teams protection, OneDrive, including the file versioning, SharePoint, backing up and recovering the permissions is key. Most vendors miss out on that capability and creates a whole other problem when you're going through that journey. Azure AD will include for free with the Microsoft 365 protection, giving you protection across users, groups, admin units, roles, logs, and so forth. So again, very comprehensive. Here's a full list of the data types that are being picked up in there. But things like, the Teams chat, not only backing up, but actually putting it back in place. We're not just going to give you a HTML file with the contents there. It's restoring the SharePoint permissions I touched on. A lot of these capabilities, from backing up equally as important around recovery. One of the highlights is the shareable link. Someone says, my OneDrive, I'm missing some files. We can instantly share them a public link. They can navigate it. They can quickly grab a file. They can confirm that's what they want. And then we'll go and drive a high-speed restore back into the tenant. So capability around coverage and recovery is really important. Around sovereignty, obviously, we're in Australia. We have multiple data center facilities where the data spans across, based in Sydney for the APAC region, giving us, a local in-country option here. And I've touched on the immutability, where we have a write once, read many capability, and active data center configuration, giving us, highly available redundant architecture. I have touched on the API approach and how we deal with protecting that data in transit and at rest. But yeah, obviously giving you a cost-efficient solution, again, price per seat, that doesn't necessarily, fluctuate with the amount of data or different objects that we're picking up to protect. So look, I've just got a few minutes, and I apologize, I am speeding through this, but I really did want to take the opportunity to take you through the user interface. I've got a number of connectors configured in here across different workloads, but if we look at what you will do is you'll come in and go add connector. You can see here with 365, you simply log into your 365 portal. The very next thing it will pop up with is what you want to protect. So things like Exchange and OneDrive, what we will do is we'll actually enable you to go and select an Azure AD group. So your user selection can be completely driven from your Microsoft tenant. You put the users in the group. If you change that, then each time we do a backup, we'll adhere to that. So the coverage there is very simple. Comprehensive protection, including the in-place archive, will be picked up. Very much the same for OneDrive, user-driven. We'll link to your existing selection there. SharePoint changes a little bit. We're going to back up the entire site and all of the data within that. Again, the data types there is very wide coverage, and likewise with groups and teams. So very simple to set up. You can literally have that configured within minutes. And then, the power is the search and recovery, right? I can go in here. If I type in hello, for example, include all the subfolders very rapidly, here's all my emails. I can go on and click on something, I can preview it, I can look at the different versions. I've got an option to download it. I can restore it back into the tenant. I can share a link. So actually that's still just loading a preview, but I'm just going to move a little bit quicker here. If I go into users, Carl, let's go OneDrive, documents, and I've got a shared folder here. So what I can do is click share link, create a public link. I could put a time limit, a password on there. We can go on there, provide that link to any end user. They can click on it. They can go and very quickly access that folder or that set of data. They can preview it. They can download it. They can confirm to you that's what they want. Then we can go and drive the restore back for them. But it's giving very quick, immediate access to your backups all within the portal. So yeah, look, this is a fantastic portal. There's many search and recovery options, from PSTs to restoring SharePoint sites, either in place or to new sites and so forth. We have down the side here, if I just take you through, we've got the job monitor. We've got all the links so we can go and remove them or set passwords. We've got comprehensive auditing log, right to be forgotten. We've also got integration into single sign-on, so we can hook it into your existing tenant, enable multi-factor, full role-based access control, where we can go in and enable an end user to come in to their data set and control what they'll have access to go in and do. So very intuitive, very quick to set up, very price effective around how you're going to protect that data. But yeah, look, in summary, comprehensive coverage for the most popular SaaS applications, cloud native. You don't have to worry about storage, don't have to worry about bandwidth, you don't have to worry about the pricing. It's all included. Single pane of management with multi-tenancy and role-based access control. Data sovereignty we touched on, secure by design we touched on, and the immutability, and seamlessly scale. So we have configurability that allows us to scale into the tens of thousands of mailboxes with consistent performance. So look, this is a fantastic solution that we've seen a lot of demand for, and very glad to be taking you through this with Cloud Ready. So look, just finally on my side, the Arcserve SaaS backup offer by Cloud Ready. There's a promo at the moment, buy 2 years and get the 3rd year for free. So, there's another promo there that Cloud Ready are doing that I'm sure Kelly and Nick and the team will be able to take you through.